Introducing the Maritime Voyager and the Maritime Sonia, the latest of our series of 464,000 metric ton deadweight multi-purpose twin-deck bulk carriers. These ships were built at the Oshima shipyard, Japan, and are the first of their kind in the world. 2 of their 5 hulls have twin decks. They have a synchronized crane operating system and are of box-shaped, multi-purpose design, compliant with all applicable regulations. MSI took delivery of these ships into their technical management in 2016. We begin our journey from the forecastle. What you see are the mooring arrangements and associated fittings on the forecastle deck. These include the windlass, mooring winches, mooring ropes, fair leads, and anchor chains. Proceeding down to the bosun's store below the forecastle deck, we see the lighting arrangements, spares that are stored within the bosun's store, which include important spares for the anchor chain like the joining shackle and twin deck guide supports. What you are viewing is a general view of the fittings, which include bilge pumping arrangements, chain lockers, and storage shelves. What you see is the dewatering system for the bosun's store that enables pumping out of water from this space remotely from the bridge. We now take you on a walkabout on the main deck. You see the helipad on number 5 hatch cover. Also in view are the 4 electric cranes of 40 metric ton safe working load each. These cranes are capable of being used in a synchronized manner and can load heavy lift cargoes. They are equipped with an equalizer beam which is used for synchronization. The synchronized crane operation enhances the vessel's functionality to carry special heavy project cargoes. The crane operator has a clear view of the entire crane operation, enhancing safety and efficiency. The crane operation is a specialized operation and involves high standards of coordination. These cranes have anti-collision capability. The cargo holds are box-shaped to enhance and maximize the ship's cargo carriage capacity and stowage. The hydraulically operated hatch covers are operated from the main deck. The pontoons fold and unfold in the forward and aft direction. The operation is very smooth and controlled from the main deck. We now show you the most advanced feature of this vessel, being the twin decks in number 2 and number 4 holds and the box-shaped design. The twin decks consist of panel pontoons that are lifted and secured, stacking them either within the cargo hold or on the adjacent hatch cover. This gives these type of ships the edge over competitors, as it is the first of its type of twin deck design in the world. The twin decks in number 2 and number 4 cargo holds enable the ship to load multiple types of cargoes like project, cargo, and bulk cargo in the same hold. Once the twin deck pontoons are in place, they create a partition and divide the cargo hold into 2 compartments. This allows the ship to carry different types of cargo like bulk cargo and project cargoes simultaneously in the same cargo hold. The pontoons are placed in position using the ship's cranes. This is a very delicate operation and requires skilled crane operators. The pontoons are stacked one on top of the other at each end of the cargo hold to provide access to the lower hold. You now have a bird's eye view of the twin deck panels being stacked on top of the hatch covers of the adjacent cargo hold. This is another option for stowing the pontoons. The box-shaped construction of the cargo holds and the segregation of the cargo holds are visible here. The pontoons have the necessary lashing arrangements for securing on the hatch covers for proceeding to sea. Let's take a walk along the gangway area and the poop decks, where you see the aft mooring arrangement. We now come to the boat deck. The ships are equipped with two fully enclosed lifeboats of 28 persons capacity, compliant with all the applicable regulations. The lowering and hoisting of the lifeboats is a standard operation and done with ease by a single operator. The lifeboats are compliant with all the latest applicable regulations. The hoisting of the lifeboat, like the lowering, is fairly simple standard procedure. The embarkation deck is the place where all the crew embark and disembark the ship's lifeboat. Walking into the accommodation area, we first come into the ship's cargo control room, which has the loading computer and all the ballast controls on touch-screen panels. The wheelhouse is very spacious with an ergonomic design. The ship is equipped with dual JRC electronic chart display systems compliant with the applicable regulations. The Yokogawa Gyro Compass CMZ900 is enclosed and housed under the autopilot steering console. The Yokogawa Autopilot PT500 and steering console is a built-in console. We now see the main engine controls, alarm panels and communication controls on the bridge. The GMDSS console is located behind the chart room on the port side of the bridge. We now come outside the bridge and go up to the Monkey Island, where the communication equipment antennas are located. We also see the main mast and the radar scanners. Now the engine room. The ships have a low fuel consumption enabled by optimized hull design and G-type electronic main engines. The energy saving is further enhanced by the use of the flipper fins on the rudder. We see the calorifier, which supplies hot water within the accommodation. We now come to the engine control room and see the main switchboard and starter panels. We now see a view of the main engine, which is a 6-unit MEB G-type electronically controlled engine. We now see the Nishi-Shiba alternators and Yanmar auxiliary engines, which is the heart of any ship. These ships have 3 such auxiliary engines. We walk across the main engine port side crankcase doors. The main engine nameplate is visible and shows the make, a Kawasaki MAN B&W 7510 kilowatt diesel engine. These are the main air compressors and freshwater pressure tanks. All the pipes in the engine room are color-coded for easy identification. We now see the sewage treatment plant, which treats all the vessel's sewage generated and is compliant with the applicable MARPOL regulations. This is the ballast water treatment plant, Ocean Guard. This is a chemical and ultraviolet combined type of system and compliant with the latest USCG requirements. This has both the filtration units and the chemical treatment units. We now see the purifier space, where all the purification of the fuel and lubricating oils take place. The operation testing of the purifier is also shown here. We now see the cascade tank and inspection tank, where the condensed steam comes back. Also seen is the auxiliary boiler wash drain collection tank. This is the starter panel for the 3 auxiliary engines. We now see the chemical treatment unit and the neutralization unit of the OceanGuard ballast water management system. This is a view of the various pumps like ballast pumps and fire pumps located at the forward end of the engine room. We can also see the monitoring units of the ballast water management system. We now move to the after end of the engine room where we see the bilge pump and sludge pumps along with the operating buttons. This is a view of the seawater pumps and their operating buttons. We now see the incinerator and the air bottles. This is number 2 fuel oil service tank and the quick closing valves. Please take good care of these ships. Always remember the MSI safety oath. Happy and safe sailing.